about our program and why we think it's important. For me, I didn't get a music influence until 6th grade. And when I did, I was changing schools, and it was a whole mess, and I was right at the D-level student level. And I joined band and met people and kind of got a more positive outlook on my future. And I went from D's to A's, and it was great times for everyone. And so we're just here to talk to you about both the importance of music education and also our own department and our needs that we need to function. And my friend Daniel will tell you more about that.
Yeah, I'm also a music education major. Most of us are here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, we just wanted to talk about the importance of supplying our music education department with the resources that it needs and making sure that we can train our teachers to be as fully qualified as they can possibly be, so that when they get in the job market and start teaching, they will pass that on to the students. And something we're battling with a little bit is that our department's grown by about 400% just recently.
Yeah.
And our resources have not. Our resources have pretty much stayed stagnant. And we're making do with what we can, but at a certain point we really just need those resources so that we can be as highly qualified and trained as we possibly can be. Especially with the aging teaching population, there's kind of a shortage of qualified music teachers.
And with those resources that we need, like technology. So we have our technology is instruments, and so every year they come out with some new software program on computers where instruments, when we get the top of the line stuff, it lasts up to 50 years. Like, it can be as long as you take care of it, it's all good. But recently I injured my saxophone, and luckily I was able to get a new one very quickly that Western owned. But on the other hand, I know someone that has not been able to, and it pulls back everybody that's included in this, or in a section. She can't play her thing, so we can't do anything. We can't move forward. And we also have pedagogy classes where everybody's learning a new instrument, but sometimes there aren't enough instruments, and that makes it a lot harder for them to learn, and then it makes them less qualified to be a teacher. And Western prides themselves in the best experiences, learning to be a teacher.
And part of those resources that we need too, I think is our building. I'm actually a biochemistry major, but I'm in a lot of the performing ensembles and really heavily involved in the music department. And I go from the chemistry building, which is, very new. It's has an all-glass front. You look in and you see kids working in labs with their lab coats and their instructors and things. And then I walk to the music building at the end of the day, and it's mostly underground. And there's, a few windows up by the lobby, but the lobby doesn't have any students in it because all of our band rooms, all of our practice rooms are all underground. And I'll talk to my science friends and tell them, hey, I'm going to rehearsal tonight, sorry, I can't hang out. And they go, what rehearsal? And I'll be like, I'm in Western's orchestra. And they have no idea that we have an orchestra or a wind symphony or a jazz program, or, they don't know where the performing arts building is because it's one of the crummy looking, buildings that's mostly underground. So I think that's really important. And I know we're getting plans to make a new building, so I know that, maybe that'll come by your office. But another thing too is a lot of people will say, music doesn't help you get, it's not a very good job outlook. Why people are focusing on STEM majors is because you can, graduate and get a lot of money and stuff. But I'll call the schools that I'm, looking at for grad school because I want to go to medical profession, and I'll ask them, do you want me to take more science classes and, you know, cut the rehearsals? Because, you know, some of these science classes you recommend, and they always say no. You know, we want to see a well-rounded student. The fact that you're involved in music, which is a big, you know, team player, kind of has a big team player attitude, and perseverance, dedication, commitment. You know, you learn a lot of things. Really good qualities in music. So that's why it's really important to me. But,
You have anything, Dan?
Yeah, I'm Christopher Bianco. I'm the chair of the music department. These are all my students. They're terrific people. What Emily was talking about with the building, that's from an administrative standpoint, that's at the top of my list of things to talk to you about. Our building is old, as Emily said. I'm not sure it's the worst building on campus, but it sure feels like it. It's close.
Definitely if it's underground, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's close. And we're on the way up here. One of you guys was talking about Whitman just built this. Whitworth just built this great brand new music facility, and we're working really hard to stay competitive. Attracting talented music students to our state universities is difficult because they have a lot of options. They can go to private schools. So I think our facility is at the top of the list, and I know that it's called the PAC renovation. It'll probably come across the representative's desk at some point. It came through in the last biennium. There was a proposal. It did not get funded. So we're hoping that on this next go around, we've already gone through a pre-design twice for the facility. If she were to come to campus and look at the Performing Arts Center, I think what Emily is talking about would resonate pretty clearly. And we know that the focus in Olympia is on STEM, but we're very adamant about how the arts fits in with STEM. If you look at Washington, in Washington State, 63,000 people are employed in the creative industries, and those industries are intimately tied with technology. Microsoft employs a lot of creatives. Just their public image, the music in their games, the way their packaging looks, like all of that training to have careers and professions that do that. We do that at Western, and this facility's going to help us to stay competitive. And another thing that we were talking about on the way down, we have some creative industries data. Washington ranks in the top 3, along with New York and California, a percentage of employment in the creative industries. And Western can be, could be, should be at the forefront of training young people to go into those fields. And the creative arts, music, theater, dance, design, all of those work in consort with all of these tech industries that are in Seattle. So we think it's a mistake to focus entirely on STEM and not realize all the corollary benefits that the arts bring to those fields, including creating communities and environments that are attractive to highly trained tech workers. There's a fair amount of research, specifically if the representative has any free time. There's a book called Rise of the Creative Class, Revisited. The author is Richard Florida, and it lays out a pretty compelling case using data as to how the creative industries work together in a community to attract highly skilled, highly trained workers in fields other than the arts. So I think that's predominantly what we wanted to share with you today.
Yeah.
And again, we're not the Western students that are here today to talk about the student agenda. They're doing a great job. We're not here for that. We just wanted to make a connection with you and with the representative, and just introduce ourselves and know that there'll probably be things coming down the line that we're going to need some support on.
And I'll definitely keep track of it because I'm usually the one looking out for everything, seeing when things pop up.
Yeah.
And I definitely, like, as a personal, like, I grew up, I played alto, I played tenor, I played bass, so I am backing you guys 100%.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to high school in Yelm.
Yeah.
I am not actually from district, so I'm 45 minutes from here.
Sure.
but I went to PLU also, and I always believe the creative arts in general is a high priority. So you have a cheerleader in your corner.
Thank you.
And I will push anything that comes through on the PAC renovation towards her, being like, look at this.
Yeah, so you were at PLU, you know, we lose students all the time. A big part of my job is to go out and meet students and essentially recruit them to come to Western. And not only Western, but UW and WWU. It's a death match in competition for these students. And when you walk into that music building at PLU, it feels pretty good.
Yeah, that's why I found it interesting that it was underground.
Yeah.
Because I'm wondering what those rooms look like for like acoustics wise and like having up the panels up.
Yeah.
There's one classroom that actually has outside windows, and it's just one classroom. There's in the practice room. Every practice room has a piano, which is really nice. But all of us will be in there all day long, from like 9 o'clock in the morning until it gets dark outside. And sometimes if I go out for lunch outside the PAC, it's crazy because you walk outside and your eyes have to adjust, and it's crazy bright outside.
They're like, look at the
Wow.
Oh, wow.
These high school students in Washington that are interested in STEM careers, they're going to find a university that offers them the STEM courses they want. That's not a problem. But what's important to remember is that they might make their choice on a university not based on the STEM program, because those are all comparable and pretty good, just because so many high school students who are high performing, let's face it, the band and orchestra kids in the high schools, they're often the smartest kids in the school. And so while they may be going to college to become an engineer or a doctor, they want to go to a university that has strong arts. So I think it's a mistake to just put all our eggs in this STEM basket and not realize how the arts interconnects in those students' lives.
Because I know I've definitely read different journals that bring up like students who want to go to medical school that like, dexterity in hands and like breathing capability, physical abilities that come along with playing instruments, depending on what your choices on instrument wise. So let's go with like drummers or have way more dexterity than maybe a flute would, or all of that.
And focus, concentration, all those things.
But trust me, I will pass everything forward. I do think we'll probably have a good chance of getting it through this year, just because Representative Litton's on finance, and also because education seems to be everybody's focus this year with everything that's going on with McCleary. So I'm hoping maybe we can shine a light on our district a little bit more and just push that agenda a little bit.
So the district that the representative represents, is that Whatcom County?
It's
Where is
Whatcom
she?
County, San Juan Island. So it's like this. You go from the San Juan Islands down to Bellingham, up, and it makes kind of like a triangle.
Great. Okay.
But it doesn't envelop all of Whatcom County that I know of.
Yeah.
But
In Bellingham, I've lived in Bellingham for 10 years. I've taught at Western for 10 years. I think Bellingham does a pretty good job of using the arts to generate jobs and generate vibrancy in the downtown. But I think we could do so much better, and I think Western should be kind of the hub of that. Because of our location, we're up on the hill. Parking, and this is a small thing, but the devil's in the details.
oh no.
Getting the community to come to the Performing Arts Center because of its location, because of the lack of parking, watching senior citizens having to go downstairs to get to, the Black Box Theater. There's ways you can get there through elevators, but it's the facility, the PAC facility, again, which is music, art, theater, dance, could be so much better and serve the community so much more and generate. We've had all kinds of brainstorms about having events where we bring people to a restaurant downtown. They're spending money downtown, and then we shuttle them up to campus. The PAC could be so much more integrated into everyday life for Bellinghamsters.
So how far along is the renovation? So has it already been decided, like, where you guys are looking to build? How big the building's gonna be? Like, how far along is
Okay.
this idea, besides just like, we need this much money?
Yeah, so in the last biennium, prior to that, we went through a pre-design. And so we received money from the state to do a pre-design
Yeah.
of the facility. And it, in my opinion, it wasn't managed well. The project ended up, it was like an $80 million project, which is too much.
Yeah.
And it came to Olympia and it didn't make it. So now we're focusing on some new construction for the areas that don't have anything, like dance, for example.
Mhm.
Dance is in like a warehouse,
Oh.
like off campus, and they do some classes in the music building. They don't have a home, so there has to be some new construction. But excuse me, we're focused on renovating the current structure, and then the architectural plans that I've seen, at least in the pre-design, do the things that they're talking about. It brings things upstairs, modernizes it, makes the building more aesthetically pleasing to be more competitive. So this pre-design, we're done with the pre-design, and now, and somebody from Western could probably tell you a lot more, like people that are in Old Main and deal with the facility. I don't know exactly where the project is at this point, but I know the pre-design is done, and from my perspective, we're just waiting. I'm waiting to see what the dean and the president and the provost say about this building project and where it's going to go next.
I might ask, we're gonna have the president down later,
Yeah.
like next month. I might ask them about it, or ask Representative Litton to ask them about it.
Yeah.
Since I am only the LA, so.
Yeah, and particularly just, I know how things, I don't know how things work in Olympia, but I know that jobs and economic vitality is a big deal. And I think that this PAC, not only will it serve our students to have this new building, but it could do so much for Bellingham.
But I might be able, like, to see if I can wrap multiple people into this, because I don't know what the legislative priorities are of the student body, but I'm assuming you guys are part of the student body.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and this is priority for you, is to see if I can wrap them into maybe being part of this, and, like I said, the president is coming down, maybe seeing if they can gear part of their conversation around this, because it is a big part of your college, and, like, getting through it and making sure it's enjoyable, because once you leave, you can't go back. Except for grad school, but that's a whole other bottle part. But I will pass this on. I will do all I can.
Terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And what was your name?
I'm Robin.
Thank you, Robin.